Hi, I'm Stephen Hand from Archery Supplies, and today we're going to look at the new bow for 2018 from PSE called the Ferocity. This is the bottom of the range Evolve cam system. It's available in the charcoal finish, which is this one here. Now this is a powder coat finish. Obviously the multiple site finishes here. It's kind of a rough paint finish. I'm trying to get up real close to it. This is the same paint that PSE is using in the Expedite, and pretty much if you see charcoal, this is what it's going to look like. Now the price point on this bow, around 680 Australian dollars, which puts it way below the other Evolve bows in the PSE lineup. The other PSE bows in the Evolve lineup, the Evolve about 1400. The React, which they've now renamed to the, I think it's called the Reason or something like that, is about 1100. So this bow is way cheaper. Speed on this bow, we're talking about 335 feet per second, so similar to the React in speed. Axle, I'm going to guess at around 33. Let me just grab the card. It looks like 33. Axle is 31, so 30 and 3/4, but it's got a bigger cam system. Brace height is 6.5 inches, which is pretty standard. The React bow, or whatever they've renamed that to, is 7 inches. The Expedite is 5.5 or 6 inches. So this is a bigger brace height. Now this, even though this is in the Evolve cam system, you see the cam looks similar to the Evolves as being a big cam system. It is different. Now what makes this bow different? It's a twin cam system like the Evolve. The Evolve is twin cam, so same cam top and bottom, which is the same case for this. The Evolve is a twin yoke system which pulls off the yokes here. This is a tri-cam system, so it's like in the old days of the Bowtech days, a binary cam system, which is what they called it, or a 3-track system, which is what 3-track is what Elite call their binary cam system. Basically, it's a twin cam without yokes. So you have one string here and the other string here. Now the way PSE balance this is a different poundage limb here to here. So I'm going to, let's just go through the deflection numbers on the limbs. So on this limb here, so this limb on this side is 126 deflection. This side is 131. Now these little numbers are written up here, so it's very hard to see. Down the bottom, it's 129 on this side and 131 on this side. Now I got a question during the week from another archery shop about what's the series of the limbs on different PSE bows. Now the problem is each PSE bow generally has a different limb setup as far as the deflection numbers on the bows. So if you're shooting a drive or shooting a stinger or shooting an expression, it's always best to find out what's the sequence of the limbs. Now PSE have that written down. Now the reason they have it written down is because they know that the difference between this and this limb needs to be a certain deflection to get this cam to be straight. Now getting a cam to be straight when you're drawing is often hard, which is why you have a yoke system. Because basically when you change the poundage of the bow, you're changing the limb poundage, which is changing the pressure on the cams. Now a lot of archers are, I'm going to say, obsessive about cam lean. Now to me it doesn't really worry, cam lean, because the bow's going to shoot the same every time when you shoot it. So if the cam's slightly, I'm going to exaggerate, if the cam's slightly off center, it's the same every single time. Now, if you want to fix it up, you can shim the axles here, so you can basically move the cam left to right to fix that up. But I'm going to say for the average shooter, and I'm going to say I'm an average shooter, it's not going to make any difference because this bow is going to shoot the same every single time. Now, What varies is me. I vary more than this bow will ever vary. So when I shot I shot the Perform on the weekend. Third time I shot an Australian qualifying score. Is that a good score? Like, the thing is, the more you shoot, the better you'll shoot and more consistent. So I don't really play around a lot with this sort of thing. I just grab a bow and I shoot it. But a lot of people are very like, oh, the cam's not exactly right, or that stuff doesn't bother me. But with this type of cam system, it's very hard to get the wheel alignment spot on. So, and we're going to look at that when we draw this bow back. I haven't drawn this bow back. So what we have here, to me, it looks like a cast riser, and it is a cast riser. So it's a cheaper riser. Limb pivots, well, goes into these things here. So you stop your riser basically stripping out if you wind in and out the limb bolts. Now what this limb bolt does is it allows massive variation in poundage. Now what's interesting is it says this bow should only be wound out 8 turns. Now there's a lot more adjustment than 8 turns in this limb bolt here. The limb pivots are plastic. On a $680 bow, these are plastic. On the $1,100 bow, these are plastic. On the $1,500, these are metal. So the pocket here is plastic. The limbs are short on the Ferocity, so they're a shorter limb than the other bows. Comes with little dampeners. The writing's kind of cool on the end there. Overall, I like the look of the bow. It's a carbon cable rod. With the more expensive bows, this will be flexible and roller slides, but this is a $680 bow. Now, when I look at bows, I often say, well, how does this fit in the market compared to the other bows at a similar price point? Now, the PSE Stinger is the biggest selling bow there is, and it's $500. This bow is clearly better than the PSE Stinger without even shooting it. It's faster. Well, it's faster. It's faster in speed. And as you spend more money, the bows become faster. So this is really, to me, this competes against the PSE Drive, which is about the same price as this. Now, the Drive is a hybrid cam system, which means you have a yoke at the top and the cam top and bottom are different. And to me, it's going to be interesting to see how this bow compares to the Drive to shoot. Now, the other bow that this bow compares to is the PSE Epix, which is a huge selling bow. That's a hybrid cam as well. It's a machine riser, the Epix, and it's priced at a more expensive bow than this. So my question is, when we set up this bow and we shoot this bow, how does this compare to the Drive? Do I prefer this bow to the Drive? And how does it compare to the Epix? Is this a better bow than the Epix? Now, just on the cam system, on the modules, which I'm going to try and zoom in it, the module looks identical to the Evolve module. It's a huge module here that you can adjust without a bow press. Now, the thing that's different is the draw stop. There's the draw stop there. On the Evolve cam system, which features on the React, the Evolve, the Performs, the Shoot Down, you can change the draw stop here, the let off, to change the let off. So the let off on all those bows is adjustable by 10%. On this bow, it's set, so you can't adjust it. So with the more expensive bows, you are getting the more adjustability. I'm going to say the speed's pretty similar on these two bows. So to me, the question is going to be, is there cam lean? And one, is it bad? How does it shoot? And how does this bow compare to the Epix, the Drive, and the other Evolves in the draw cycle and how the bow shoots? So we're going to set this bow up and shoot it. But before that, I've got a new one just there, straight out of the packet. And this is a Camo. Now I'm going to show you the label at their back here. Now, when PSE make a new bow, so when I order these bows, I say, PSE, I want a Ferocity in 60 pounds in Camo. Now, there's the tag right there. So what it says is FH. Now, that's the type of cam. It's an R, which is right-handed. CY is Camo, set at 29 inches at 60 pounds. So when I order this bow, they produce a tag which is that tag there. It has my name, Archery Supplies, in the production, and it has a list of all the parts needed to make this bow. It has the serial number, which is just there. So the serial number on this bow is, sorry, just there, which is 25596, whatever it is. It has the day when this bow basically left, or was built in the factory, which was the 7th of December. It also has a location where it exists in the factory. So let's say this bow was made not for a specific person. It would be existing in PSE's factory on a shelf, but most of these bows would be made for people, so this bow would have had my name on it when it was made. So basically they go and grab all the parts for the bow, which have been all made for this bow. So basically they know they're going to make the Ferocity for me, and they need so many poundage limbs, they need so many screws, and all those things are produced in the factory, which takes time. Yeah, I almost dropped the bow. So this is the camo bow. This is how it comes out of the package. It comes with a little booklet just there. Now this is the camo version. It's a standard PSE camo. The serial number is in the handle there. It's got the standard PSE RRS adapter, the standard 2-piece quiver you can fit on there. And that's the camo. We're going to set up the charcoal because that's a little bit different for me. And we're going to have a shot with that now and sort of see how it performs. But that's the camo one, and that's how it comes from the factory when it's made. But if PSE do have excess stock, so if they make, let's say, 5 or 50 Ferocities and they're sitting on the shelf, basically when you order it they just grab it off the shelf, but most of them are actually made for the customers as they order the bows. So when I went to the PSE factory and they've got the bows getting produced down the ship, down on the line, I could see, let's say that I could see 20 bows. My name was on some of those bows coming down the production line, which to me was just amazing because my name's there, the serial number's there, and all the parts are in a box, and then the person assembles them all. So they take a box and they build the bow on the deck, which to me is, I find fascinating. Anyway, let's build this bow, let's see how it shoots, let's see how it draws, and let's put it through a chrono and see what sort of speed we get. Okay, so we're at the shooting range now. I've put a basic D-loop on, a basic whisker biscuit, and a basic 5-pin sight. Now I haven't sighted this in, I haven't drawn this bow back. So this bow should be set at 60 pounds, we hope. Now I generally shoot 60 pounds, and I haven't been shooting 60, so this bow may feel hard for me to draw. So part of it is to work out what this bow feels like to draw back, what the valley feels like. So let's just try the draw cycle out. So to start off with, the draw cycle is pretty hard. So it's not an easy draw cycle. So it's hard. Oh, it's starting to feel like it's dropping now. It's dropping. Oh, there. Now, it's a solid draw stop back there. I'm going to let this down. So you're drawing back, it's solid, and then you can feel it dropping, and then it's just solid. So there's no draw. Now I couldn't see any cam lean at all on the cam. It was perfectly aligned. Now, so to me, the draw cycle on the Evolve cam system, you kind of draw it back and you got this massive valley, you can just hold it there forever. To me, this cam system feels like bows that it feels like to me, it feels very similar to the drive cam system to draw back, and the speed's the same, so like, you know, that makes sense. It feels, to me, it feels very much like the old Bowtex that I used to shoot back in the however many years ago. It's not an aggressive cam system by any stretch of the imagination. It is a solid cam system, so it's more aggressive than the Stinger cam system to shoot. The draw is rock solid when you get back there, so there's no limb stop built into this cam system at all, and it's a solid wall when you get back. So So overall, it feels nice. The grip is pretty standard width-wise. It's not fat, not skinny. It's pretty similar to your stingers, your drives, all that sort of stuff in thickness. The bow balance itself, and I'm just going to sit there, is perfect. It's not wanting to go left to right. It's just perfect up and down. So it feels pretty good. Now, when I shoot this bow, I'm going to guess what's going to happen. Because it's perfect like that, when I shoot it's going to go like that, because the pressure point's down the middle here. Now, with this being a twin cam bow, I'm going to guess where the arrow sitting is dead in the center of the cams, because it needs to be. So I'm going to guess the riser here is longer than down the bottom to put the arrow dead in the center of the string. Now, without putting a tape measure through it, I'm going to guess that's what it is. So let's have a shot and see what it feels like to shoot. Pretty good. Do you know, like, I was drawing back that bow and I was like, I got back to the draw position. I was like, this bow is easier than the React. When I say the React, sorry, the Expedite, which is the fast version of the Evolve cam system. Now, the fast version of the Evolve cam system has low let off modules. This is definitely low let off. I think, well, it says 80%. It feels like 75. May even feel like 70. That's definitely easier than the Expedite. When you're back there, it's easier to hold, easier to shoot. Let's just have another shot so I can. Yeah, I'm drawing that back real easy. There is no vibration at all in the riser at all. It's dead in the hand. Now, you've got little limbs which don't have a lot of compression on them, so you've got less vibration with these limbs. The bow itself, now this is really interesting here. I'm going to try and zoom up. So here, where this cable runs, it runs like it does a loop around the cam. So it's like a half an evolved cam system. But this bow, to me, is one of the nicest bows I've shot. I've probably said that about other bows. But it is that good. I probably said this about the React when I shot that $1,100. I probably said that bow is as good as the $2,000 bows, and it absolutely is. And I'm struggling to see the difference between this and the $1,100 bow. I mean, obviously, cast riser versus machine riser, so you're talking $500 difference in price. But I'm just talking about the way the bow feels to shoot, to draw, the shot sequence. This is as good as anything I've ever shot. Yeah, I really like the drive bow, and I've shot a great score with the PSE drive. I think I like this bow better than the drive. The Epics, when I bow tested the Epics, that was a beautiful bow to shoot. One of my favorite bows. This I really like. I like the way it draws. I like the way it shoots. I like the vibration. Now, speed-wise, this is the same speed as the Epics. And the Epix is a machine riser. This is a cast riser. The Epix is $100 more expensive. it's just so nice to shoot. It's really nice, and for a price point bow, like for me, if I just want a bow to knock around in the bush with, and I do a bit of 3D hunting kind of archery, just recreational archery, where I walk around the bush and shoot at animal targets, and I don't want to spend a lot of money because this is not a bow I use a lot. This is a bow that is pretty good, like, and I like this finish on the paint. It's kind of looks tough, it's hardy. I like the black. So the cams are black, the sights are black. To me, it's a nice looking, tough bit of gear, and the price is not killing my budget. I could definitely see myself owning this bow. So what I want to do now, we're going to take this bow back to 18 meters, and we're going to see what sort of groups I shoot with. But this bow is 60 pounds. I haven't been shooting 60 for a while. It's easy. Draw length is easy to adjust. Just there, you got the 2 screws there and there. You can see that well away from the limb, so easy to rotate without a bow press. Easy bow to change the strings if you need to, when you need to replace the strings. Easy bow to work on. And PSE offer a great service. The string stop is carbon, so basically indestructible. Pretty good little bow, Ferocity. So let's go and shoot it. Okay, so I'm at 18 meters. I've had 3 arrows sign in. One was in the middle of the 10 and one was a low blue. So I was pretty happy with those 2 arrows. Weren't great arrows, but I was pretty happy with those, and I was like, well, I'm going to hit the target, so let's do this. So 18 meters, 60 pounds. I'm shooting VAPs, 350s, which are victories. These are my straight target arrows I shoot. I shoot sports. Now, what do I expect as far as my group's going to be concerned when I'm down there? I'm expecting these to not be quite as good as the PSE Stinger to shoot, even though this bow's more expensive. This bow's a little bit quicker, shorter brace height, shorter axle, so probably a little bit less forgiving to shoot. So, but I still expect them to shoot fine. So let's go and have a look, see what sort of scores I shoot. Like it feels really good to shoot. Whoa. So I shake around all over the place. I literally did shake around in that shot. So I don't know where the arrows are going. I can't see them from back here, and obviously I've got a camera set up at the target, so you'll be able to see where those arrows went. But I shook around. My pin was basically wobbling around the gold and out to the red. Now, my pin that time was hovering around the gold. Now, normally when I shoot target, and I've been shooting the Perform and I shoot the other target bows, my pin will sit on the 10. It doesn't basically move. I'm getting so much vibration that I'm moving. When I say vibration, so much movement that I'm moving from the 9 to the 9, and it's an up and down movement in the shot. That could be me just getting used to this bow. It could be that I haven't been shooting 60 pounds recently. Or it could be I don't have stabilizers, so the bow's just light. The bow itself weighs, I mean, without looking up the specs, it feels like it's under 4 pounds. And my target bows are quite heavy, so heavy bows tend to make you more stable. And saying that heavy bows make you more stable, you've got to be able to hold the weight. It's no use giving a beginner a heavy bow and saying, oh yeah, you should be stable, because you don't have the muscles to hold it. So you've got to have a bow that you can hold up and it doesn't fatigue you, otherwise you're going to be shaking around everywhere and have really bad technique. Now that one I was actually dead in the center when I released it. Didn't move around too much. But it feels lovely to shoot. Like, if I had stabilizers on this bow, I reckon they'd be pretty accurate. Whoa. Now part of the thing with shooting a back tension release aid is sometimes when it goes off, it's not where you want it to go off. I think that one went off when I was in the red. And one of my viewers asked, why are you shooting back tension? Because it's not going to be as accurate as a thumb release aid when it goes off with a trigger. What it does, a back tension, it gets you to aim, and you've got to be constantly aiming, and your aim should improve. So you should become steadier. Oh, that was a good shot. You've got to work harder with a back tension release aid to get good shots off. And one of the viewers goes, oh, it's to do with target panic. Yes and no. Like, I could shoot a thumb now, no issue at all. But I still work on the back tension because I'm trying to improve. And to me, it's like shooting a clicker with a recurve. With a clicker, you don't know when it's going to go, and when it goes, you've got to shoot. This is very much the same with the back tension to me. Like, you've just got to... Well, that one was aimed off to the left. I don't know where it went. But... So yeah, when you think about back tension release aids versus normal release aids, with a thumb release aid and your wrist release aid, often you're thinking about, well, when do I shoot? When do I shoot? When do I shoot? You know, I don't think about that. I'm just thinking about aiming and getting through a shot execution. So it's like repeating the same process every time and getting the same shot off every time. I don't really think about aiming, if that makes any sense at all. Obviously I'm aiming, but it's more about shot execution. And if I do a good shot and it goes off and I'm aimed in the middle, I go, oh, awesome. That's a shot I'm trying to reproduce. So when I do a bad shot, I go, oh, that's a bad shot, that's fine. Where if I shoot a thumb or a wrist release, which I do shoot, I find I'm not concentrating as much on my shot execution as I do on the aiming and making sure it hits the center. So I don't really think about where the arrows are going. I'm more thinking about how I'm feeling in the shot. And when I'm testing this bow, that's exactly what I'm thinking about. I'm thinking about how does it aim? How does it feel to shoot? How do I feel shooting? I like the way it comes off with the, you know, it says 80% let off, but it feels like 75. I like the way this bow feels to shoot. But I do find I'm wobbling around more than, say, the Epics and say the Stinger. I found with those bows I was holding pretty good on the center. But let's go down. I just want to see where those arrows are because I can't honestly see them. Okay, so I'm up here at the target. This is the group. Actually, it's not too bad. I've got a little bit of left and right, and that's because I'm pulled more into my face than some shots. So that's purely got to do with me, how far I push into my face. And because I'm not shooting a peep sight, there's no peep sight here. That's just the consistency sign. Up and down's actually, you know, there's a spread of, you know, I'm going to say from a 7 to a 6. You know, there's one which was low. I think I aimed that one low. So it's 2 rings. So basically they would all be, if I changed my sights, they would all be in the goal. Now I think I shot better with the Stinger, the PSE Stinger. I feel like I shot better with that. But this bow is faster. So what that means when I go to shoot hunting or 3D archery, judging distances, if I'm out with a faster bow, I'm going to be more accurate. So this bow for 3D, where I've got to guess a distance, is going to be more forgiving as far as distance is concerned. But actually, by the group, I feel like I shot worse than this group, if that makes sense. So I feel like I was wobbling around more than this group indicates. So I'm pretty happy with that. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with the way that bow feels. Now what we're going to do is we're going to put this bow through the chronograph and let's see what sort of speed we get. This bow is set at 60 pounds, 29 inches, and we shoot the same arrow I normally shoot through all my tests, and we'll see what sort of speed we get. Thank you. Okay, so we're out here to shoot. I shoot gold tip velocities for the speed tests because I've always done it. The arrows weigh 324 grains. They're a 400 spined arrow with a 90 grain point in them, set at about 28.5 inches. This bow set at 60 pounds at 29 inches. So now we shoot it through the chronograph and see what sort of speeds we get. Generally the fast bows are in the 320 mark, so that's like the Expedite was pretty quick, the Full Throttle's obviously quick, the Hoyt fast bow was relatively quick, and there was another fast bow as well. Matthews had a fast bow. Now the slower bows are under 300 feet per second, so let's just sort of see what sort of speed we get through the chronograph. .291. I think that's probably a pretty fair speed for this bow. I don't know how that compares to the drive. The IBO on this bow is the same as the drive. I'm suggesting probably the drive was similar sort of speed to this. .289. So I think 290s feet per second. It's definitely not a blistering bow. It's not a hard bow to draw, not a hard bow to shoot. .289. So two 289s and a 291. Now my thing, I try and always compare bows because customers, when they come in, they go like, what bow do I buy when I come to a shop? You need to have your price point sorted. So if you're in this price point of $680 odd for this bow, which is above the beginner bow, to me the bows to compare it to are the drive and the epics. And for me, I struggle to feel the difference between this bow, the epics, or the drive. The epics I think is probably a little bit easier to shoot, being 32 inches. That's just my guessing what I feel it's like to shoot. But I do like the feel of the bow. I do like the feel of the twin cam. I do like the way this bow is. Now they do have, which I didn't mention, there's roller bearings in the cams. You know, like, is this bow much better than the Stinger? Yes, it is better than the Stinger, but the Stinger is always a good bow. It's a good solid bow. So I think PSE have priced this bow exactly right in the market. This bow is not better than the epics, and it's priced under the epics. The short limbs reduce the vibration and the shock of the bow when you shoot it. So I can make a case this bow is better than the drive, but the drive is the machine riser, same axle, same speed. So I'm kind of, I probably prefer this bow to the drive, and I really like the drive. So for me, it's very hard to pick this bow over any of the other bows in the market, but it's definitely a nice bow to shoot. So when you're looking to buy a bow, it's hard enough for me to pick a bow, but this bow I definitely like to shoot. I like the look of it. It's, yeah, the weight's good for hunting. It's good weight for recreational shooting, under 4 pounds. The short limbs I really like. So overall I really like this bow. In the price point, I think it's good. As a consumer, to me, it's going to be really hard to pick the difference and to pick which bow you prefer. But this is definitely right up there on the top of my list as far as bows which are value for money. And to finish that off, it's Christmas time, so today's my last day at work till after Christmas, and we've been extremely busy at the shop leading up to Christmas, so it's a relief to get over the Christmas period where you're just absolutely crazy with orders and phone calls and people wanting stuff for Christmas, and the panic Christmas time, it's huge because people want stuff for Christmas to be there for Christmas. So it's a huge panic time for the shop and for my staff in it. So it's a huge relief to get over that period. And now we're going to a period where it's kind of quiet. But for everyone, I wish you the best for Christmas and your family and all that. And hope the 2018 is a good year for you. I thank you for the support, for all the customers. Because without your support, the shop doesn't obviously run, and I don't employ the people I employ. I employ about 5 people in my store who are all thankful to have a job, as I understand it. So yeah, from Archery Supplies, I thank you very much, and have a great Christmas and enjoy your family and enjoy that time. Thank you for watching. Bye.